Hello guys, how are you doing? Good afternoon everybody. How are you guys? Hello everybody, how are you today?
Good afternoon.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Hello guys, how are you? Did you have a nice morning?
Yes.
Good, that's good to hear. Okay guys, quick check, okay? Let's have a very quick check. How do you say in English, for example, let's see. How do you say in English, una vez?
Once
Once.
upon a time.
For example, once upon a time, that's a very good one. That's the classic way to start a story, right? Like for example, in children's stories, once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, right? Érase una vez o había una vez en un reino lejano, right? So yeah, once upon a time, very good one. There is also a movie called Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That's a very dark movie. But yeah, that's right. Very good, very good. How would you say this? Una vez que te conocí. How would you say that?
Once I meet you.
Once I met you. That's right. Very good. Very good. Once I met you. Very good. Or let's think about the future. That was for the past. Like, for example, una vez que te conocí, las cosas cambiaron. How would you say that in English? Una vez que te conocí, las cosas cambiaron.
Once I met you, the things changed.
Yes, that's right. Once I met you, things changed. That's right. Once I met you, things changed. Very good. Now, that's like for speaking about the past, but we can also use it for the future, both in Spanish and in English, right? Like for example, how would you say una vez que consiga trabajo, I don't know, tendré mi propio dinero. How would you say that in English? Una vez que consiga trabajo, tendré mi propio dinero. How would you say that?
Once that I get a job, I will have my own money.
Perfect. Very good. Once I get a job, I'll have my own money. Very good. Or I will have my own money. Very good. Once I get a job, I'll have my own money. Very good. Very good. So once, that's an important one. How do you say in English hasta? Until. Very good.
Until.
Yes. Excellent. Very good. And don't forget, you spell it with a U, right? But in this case, the U sounds like until. That's right. Until. Now, how do you say, for example, yo estaba feliz hasta que te conocí? How do you say that in English?
I was happy until
I was happy.
I was happy until I met you.
I meet you.
I was until I meet you.
Very good. I was happy until I met you. Very good. Don't forget something. If you're speaking in the present, for example, you say meet, right? Conocer, like the classic, nice to meet you, right? But if you're speaking about the past simple of meet is met. Also, the participle is met. Okay, so meet, met, met. Right? From your perspective, meet, met, met. Okay? So I met you, te conocí in the past. All right? Okay, very good. So good, good, good. That's until. How do you say this in English? No buscaré trabajo. First of all, how do you say buscar in English? How do you say buscar? Search is one, yes, exactly. But search is one, but what is much more common than search? You said it already. Look for.
Look
That's
for.
right. Very good. Very good. So you can say search, but in most cases, it sounds a lot more natural to say look for. Not always, of course, but in many cases. Okay. So look for. Let's say look for. How do you say this? No buscaré trabajo hasta que termine la universidad. All right? How do you say that in English?
I won't look for a job until I finish college.
Awesome. Very good. Excellent. Very good. Very good. I won't look for a job until I finish college. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I won't look for a job until I finish college. So as you see, this is very similar to Spanish. Not a lot of change with the Spanish, right? This is very similar to Spanish. Now, how do you say in English? Tan pronto como. Tan pronto como.
As soon as.
As soon as. Very good. As soon as. That's right. As soon as. Excellent. Now, how would you say this in English? Te llamo tan pronto como termine. Sería como decir te llamo en cuanto termine, ¿no? Pero para ponerlo más fácil, más literal, te llamo tan pronto como termine. How do you say that in English?
I call you as soon as I finish.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Awesome. As soon as I finish. Very good. Now, notice something. Noten una pequeña cosita, ¿no? Una pequeña diferencia entre el inglés y el español. En español diría te llamo. Si solamente digo te llamo, ¿en qué tiempo estoy hablando? Esto será presente, pasado o futuro. Si digo te llamo.
Presente.
It's the present, right? Even though I'm referring to the future, but I am using the present. Aunque sea a futuro, ¿no? Pues te llamo. ¿Qué ejemplo les dije? Tan pronto como termine, algo así. O en cuanto termine, algo así,
Sí.
¿no es cierto? Sí. Thank you. Entonces, noten en español, sobre todo en nuestro medio, digo, te llamo en cuanto termine. Pero obviamente, ese llamo es a futuro, pero sin embargo lo estoy usando en presente. ¿Cómo diríamos en futuro? En español.
Te llamaré.
Te llamaré, exacto, eso es futuro, ¿no es cierto? Te llamaré, ¿sí? Te llamaré, ¿no es cierto? Te buscaré, te daré, te llamaré, te encontraré y te mataré. So things like that's the future in Spanish. O claro, más informal, que también lo usamos mucho, te voy a llamar, te voy a llamar. Y sí lo usamos también. Pero sí, en este caso es interesante, sobre todo en nuestro medio, pero no solo en nuestro medio, en muchos lados de habla hispana, pues decimos así, te llamo en cuanto termine, te llamo tan pronto como termine. Entonces, le uso a la primera parte como en presente simple, a la segunda parte sí le uso a futuro. Te llamo como en presente simple, tan pronto como termine. Sí, eso sería un futuro, ¿no es cierto? También. Claro, en el español se complica un montón el tema de verbos, pero ventajosamente estamos aprendiendo inglés, ¿sí? Para un gringo es más complicado aprender esto en español en realidad. Okay, now, notice that in Spanish I said te llamo, but in English I have to use the future. So I wouldn't say I call you as soon as I finish, pero lo que dijo Melanie es correcto. I'll call you con la contracción de will, eso sí me sirve. O I will call you, solo que suena como que demasiado enfático, I will call you, demasiado dramático. Más típico es la contracción, ¿no? I'll, pero eso sí, la doble L, ¿no? Don't forget that. I'll call you as soon as I finish, all right? I'll call you as soon as I finish. All right, how would you say... él se fue a casa tan pronto como la vio, ¿sí? Llegó su ex a la fiesta y le traía pesadillas. His ex came to the party and brought him nightmares. So, how would you say that? Él se fue a casa tan pronto como ella llegó.
He went home.
As soon as he saw her.
Podría ser tan pronto como la vio. That's right. Excellent. Very good. Like Melanie said, and yeah, that's right. Also, somebody else also said it. I think it was Juan Jose. Sorry, I'm not sure, but yeah, very good. That's right. He went home. Se fue a casa. as soon as he saw her. That's right. As soon as he saw her. Very good. He went home as soon as he saw her. Notice this. In when we use the word home, we don't need other things. We don't need prepositions. We don't need possessives, things like that, right? In many other cases, we do. Like, for example, how do you say in English? I don't know. Estoy en el parque. Estoy en el parque.
I,
I am, I am in the park.
I'm in the park. That's right. I am in the park. Estoy en el parque. I am in the park. I'm in the park. Right? Very good. Now, how do you say estoy en el banco?
I'm in the bank.
Very good. I'm in the bank. I'm in the bank. But how do you say estoy en casa?
I'm home.
Esto es lo interesante. Cuando utilicen home, alguien lo dijo por ahí, solo deben decir I'm home. Nada más. I'm home. Right? So for many other cases, you do have to say, in many other cases, you have to say, I'm in the park, I'm in the bank, I'm in the office, right? At también se usa en ciertos casos, no me voy a meter en más detalles, pero por lo pronto es esa la cosa. Pero sin embargo, con home no se dice I am in the home, solamente se dice I'm home. Bueno, y cuando utilice home se entiende que es la casa de la persona que habla, ¿no? De la persona de la que se habla, siempre es así. Entonces, solo I'm home. Y también para ir a un lugar. How do you say yo voy al parque? Por ejemplo, ¿cómo dirían yo voy al parque de lunes a jueves? How would you say that in English?
I go to the park from Monday to Thursday.
Yep, perfect. I go to the park from Monday to Thursday. Desde el día de la luna hasta el día de Thor. I go to the park from Monday to Thursday. Very good, very good. Excellent. But how do you say, me voy a casa?
I'm home.
I go home.
I go
Yes.
home.
I go home, right? That's right. I go home at 6, for example. Voy a mi casa a las 6, ¿no? Entonces, noten, con home tampoco necesito el to, que sí necesito con otros. I go to the park, I go to the office, I go to classes, I go, I don't know, to the cinema, I go to the club, anything. But with home, I go home, just like that, all right? So a little parenthesis, but that's a peculiarity of that word, right? That's a particularity that the word home has. Okay, do you understand? All right, very good. So, and what was the thing? I went home also in the past, right? It doesn't make a difference. I go home, I went home. So I went home as soon as I saw her. That was the example, right? Very good. So as soon as, tan pronto como o en cuanto, que vendría a dar lo mismo. Now, how do you say this in English? ¿Para cuándo? ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, para cuando yo termine, ¿cómo sería eso en inglés?
By the time.
By the time. Very good, like Katrina says. Excellent. By the time. So, for example, I don't know. Para cuando termine la cuarentena, yo tendré 50 años. How would you say that in English? How do you say that in English? I'm sorry, it's a cruel
By
joke.
the time the quarantine finish, I will have 50 years.
15 years old.
Yeah, that's right. By the time the quarantine ends or finishes, right? Or stops, maybe, I will be. Let's use be. Remember that for speaking about your age, in English you use to be. In Spanish we use have, but in English we use be, right? Like, for example, right now, I don't say I have 38 years or something like that. I say I'm 38 or I'm 38 years old. If I want to say her age, I want to say, I don't know, for example, Jessica, I don't say Jessica has 20 years. I say Jessica is 20 years old, right? Or Jessica is 20, simply like that. So is cuando mi abuela murió tenía 98 años. That's a true story, by the way. So when my grandmother died, or when my grandmother passed away, she had, sino she was, siempre con el to be, ¿no? De alguna manera. She was 98. She was 98 years old, right? So is, are, if it's present, right? Was, were, if it is the past, but if it is the future, will be, okay? Okay, so by the time, very good though, very good, Adriana. By the time the quarantine ends or finishes, I'll be, or I will be 50 or 50 years old, okay? Now, how would you say, para cuando los paramédicos llegaron, ella ya había muerto? Perdón, estoy medio trágico hoy día, disculpen, pero but anyway, let's do that example, all right? Okay? Para cuando los paramédicos llegaron, ella ya había muerto. Let's imagine an accident or something like that, okay? Let's say that. How do you say that in English? Do you know how to say paramédicos in English? It's very easy.
Paramedics.
Yep, exactly like Melanie says, paramedics, very easy.
By the time the paramedics arrived, she was already dead.
Perfect. Awesome, Melanie. Excellent. Perfect. By the time the paramedics arrived, she was already, I loved it already. By the time the paramedics arrived, she was already dead, unfortunately, right? Very good. Awesome, Melanie. Very good. Yes, so that is the thing. That is the thing. And as you can see, we can use these expressions for the future, but also to speak about something that happened in the past, right? Do you see that? Okay. Now, how do you say, well, and the other ones are very easy. Before, after, the moment, those are very easy, right? So now, let's go back to the book for a moment. Let me share it with you. Just a second here. And now, yesterday we did this listening part, and we also checked the vocabulary, but I wanted you to remember it and also to practice a little bit more today. Please don't forget something. Don't forget that every day I am uploading that day's class to YouTube. So you have a collection of every single class we have had so far, right? All of our classes are there on the YouTube playlist. So please go check them out, especially if you weren't in class, right? If you missed a class, for example, let's say you couldn't connect yesterday, you weren't in class. So please connect. I'm sorry, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and check the corresponding class that you missed, because that's going to help you a lot. And this is an advantage you don't usually have, right? This is an advantage we don't usually have in our regular class. If you weren't in class, you have to somehow learn the things and catch up, right? With what you couldn't see because you weren't in class. But nowadays, you're able to, if you miss a class because of the connection or something like that, you can check the YouTube class, right? It's the same thing. However, well, of course, the difference is that you cannot interact, and that's never good. But at least you can watch the class and you can get a lot of the information and everything from it. So it's always good to do that. So please don't forget, if you miss a class, go to the YouTube playlist that we have and check out that class, okay? And that way you're also going to understand better what comes the day after, right? For example, if you weren't here, if you weren't in class the day before, if you weren't in class yesterday, probably today you're having some problems to understanding everything that we are saying, right? So please keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Anyway, going back to this, yesterday we checked out this conversation that we have here. It was a conversation between an uncle and a nephew. What is the meaning of uncle? And what is the meaning of nephew? What is uncle?
Tío.
That's right. Exactly. So it was Uncle Jim and, as you say, nephew, sobrino. Correct. Very good. So Jim is the nephew. Luke is the uncle. Aquí Luke is el tío. En la Guerra de las Galaxias era el hijo, ¿no? Do you remember that? Luke, I'm your father. Now, let's listen to this, all right? Let's listen to this again. We already listened to this yesterday, but anyway, let's do it one more time and pay attention to the expressions, to the vocabulary that they use, okay? For example, if they use until, if they use as soon as, all of that, all right? Let's listen again.
Unit 11, Rites of Passage. Page 72. Exercise 2. Conversation. I was so immature. Part A. Listen and practice.
Can you hear the audio? Can you hear the audio?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Thank you very much. Let's listen then. Listen and read.
Congratulations, graduate. What's next for my favorite nephew?
I'm your only nephew, Uncle Jim.
But you're still my favorite. Anyway, what are your plans?
I'm looking for a job so I can make some money before I go to college.
Ah, after I graduated, I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. It was a tough job, but it helped me grow up.
How do you mean?
Until I started working, I'd never had any important responsibilities. I was so immature. But once I moved away from home, I had to learn to take care of myself.
So you became...
So notice that in that part, there is a little mistake in the book. He said, I had to learn, right? Did you notice that? He said, I had to learn, where I am pointing with the little hand, with the cursor, right? With the pointer. He said, I had to learn, but here, what we have in printed, what we have written here is, I learned, right? So a little difference between the text and the audio. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually these books are very well made, but just a little mistake in there. Notice that. Okay, let me go. So in the audio he said tuve que aprender, but in the book you said aprendí, right? In the book it says aprendí. Anyway, let's go back a little bit and listen to that again. Okay.
Anyway, what are your plans?
I'm looking for a job so I can make some money before I go to college.
Ah, after I graduated, I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. It was a tough job, but it helped.
Do you remember what is the meaning of tough? What is tough? You can please turn on your microphone. Duro.
Resistente.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. So what is the meaning of it was a tough job?
Un trabajo muy difícil, muy fuerte.
Yep. Exactly. Very good. Very good.
Helped me grow up.
How do you mean?
Now, what do you, this is not very literal, this question, right? This question is not very literal, so making a literal translation wouldn't work very well. But what is the general meaning of this? How do you mean? How do you mean? How do you say that in Spanish?
¿En qué estás pensando?
Sí, por ahí va, ¿no? Sí, es como...
¿Qué te refieres?
¿A qué te refieres? Exacto, ¿no? Como a qué te refieres. How do you mean? What do you mean y how do you mean son muy parecidos. Ambos son como a qué te refieres. Pero claro, what do you mean es más la connotación de qué mismo enteramente, ¿no? How do you mean tiene un poquito más la connotación de qué manera, cómo estás expresando eso, ¿no? Pero sí, en términos prácticos, ¿a qué te refieres? Cualquiera de los dos. Yes, very good, very good. Okay, so, how do you mean? So, after I graduated, I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. It was a tough job, but it helped me grow up. How do you mean? ¿A qué te refieres? Now, let's go back a little bit. What is the meaning of grow up?
Crecer.
Crecer, correcto. That's right. In the very literal sense, en el sentido muy literal, but it also has the connotation of mature. También tiene la connotación de madurar, ¿no? Grow up. Okay? All right. Like, how do you mean?
Until I started working, I'd never had any important responsibilities. I was so immature. But once I moved away from home, I had to learn to take care of myself.
That's the little difference, right? He said, I had to learn, but here it only says, I learned.
So you became independent?
Yeah, but not for very long, actually. After 2 months, I moved back home.
Question, what is the meaning of actually? What is the meaning of actually?
En realidad.
En realidad.
En realidad.
Yes, very good. En realidad. En realidad no significa actualmente. See, this one is a false friend. This word is a false friend. It's a hypocrite. Es un falso amigo esta palabra, es un hipócrita, una falsa amiga. Actually, en realidad no significa actualmente, sino como varios dijeron, significa en realidad, ¿no? Y esos son los falsos amigos, ¿no? Como por ejemplo, as you know, library. Library, not librería, biblioteca, as you know. So that is another word that is similar in English and in Spanish, but the meaning is very different. Very different, okay? So actually, en realidad. Yeah, but not for long, actually. But not for very long, actually. En realidad, no por mucho tiempo, ¿no es cierto? So, entonces sí se volvió independiente el tío Jim, pero como dice su sobrino Luke, pero no, perdón, como dice Jim, pero no fue por mucho tiempo en realidad, ¿no? All right, very good.
And got a job at your grandfather's store.
Hey, I think my search just ended. I'm going to talk to Grandpa about a job.
Good, good. Now, let's do something. Let's do something. I'm going to play this audio again, but this time I'm not going to show you. This time I'm not going to show you this screen, okay? I'm not going to show you this, so just listen. And you're going to say stop when you hear a specific word or little phrase that I say to you, okay? So for example, let's say stop. Let's say stop when you hear the sentence, it was a tough job. Do you understand? So you hear it, and when you hear it was a tough job, you have to say stop. Do you understand?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Let's do it then. So let me move this away a little bit. All right, there we go. So let's listen.
Unit 11, Rites of Passage. Page 72. Exercise 2. Conversation. I was so immature. Part.
By the way, just a thing. If you have the book, don't cheat. Don't cheat. What is the meaning of cheat?
Dañar.
Yeah, engañar, hacer trampa. Exactamente, that's right. For example, you might be, I don't know, taking a test, right? Doing a test and or an exam, and you cheat, right? You copy from your friend's exam, or you have a piece of paper with the answers or something like that, or you have something written in your hand for the exam. That is cheating. Engañar, hacer trampa, right? To cheat. Or I don't know, maybe you're playing soccer and you scored with your hands like Maradona. So that would be cheating also. That's also cheating, right? So hacer trampa en un examen, en un juego. But yeah, also what Juliana says, engañar. Like for example, you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, and then you go do something with somebody else to cheat, right? Cheat. You know, to cheat. Right? So, ponerle los cuernos a alguien más, that is also cheating. Porque también es hacer trampa, ¿no es cierto? Right? Okay, so those are the meanings of cheat. So right now, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Because this is not an exam or something like that. You're only going to be cheating yourselves. Why do I do this? Because I think it's a good exercise to improve your listening, right? I think your listening can have some improvements doing something like this. But if you don't take advantage of the exercise, you're not going to be improving your listening. And plus, this is not graded. Además, esto no es calificado. Entonces, ¿qué sacan con hacer trampa, no? So please, don't read. If you have the book, don't read. Just listen, okay? Let's go now. Don't forget. When you hear it was a tough job, you say stop, okay?
A. Listen and practice.
Congratulations, graduate. What's next for my favorite nephew?
I'm your only nephew, Uncle Jim.
But you're still my favorite. Anyway, what are your plans?
I'm looking for a job so I can make some money before I go to college.
Ah, after I graduated, I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. It was a tough job, but it helped me grow up.
How do you mean?
Until I
Yeah, a little bit, a little late, but yeah, that's right. Probably it was some internet delay as well, but yeah, he already mentioned that. So it was a tough job. And now let's see. You're going to say stop when you hear grandfather's store. What is the meaning of grandfather's store?
La tienda de mi abuelo.
Abuelo.
La tienda de mi abuelo. That's right. So when you hear grandfather's store, you say stop, okay?
Started working, I'd never had any important responsibilities. I was so immature. But once I moved away from home, I had to learn to take care of myself.
So you became independent.
Yeah, but not for very long, actually. After 2 months, I moved back home and got a job at your grandfather's store.
Hey, I think my search just ended. I'm gonna...
Yeah, that's right. With a little bit of delay, but yeah, correct. At my grandfather's store. And now he says, I think my search just ended. What is the meaning of this? Hey, I think my search just ended.
Que yo pensé, creo que mi búsqueda ya terminó.
Exactly, mi búsqueda ya terminó. Why? And why does he say that?
Search job.
That's right. So, but he says, I'm going to talk to grandpa about a job. But why does he say, I think my search just ended? What happened before that makes him say that? What happened before that makes him say that? Well, as you can see here, Uncle Jim says, and got a job at your grandfather's store. So that gives him the idea, right? That gives him an idea. Hey, I think my search has ended. Ah, claro, si tú trabajaste con tu abuelo, tal vez, se me acaba de ocurrir, tal vez yo también debería hacer lo mío con el abuelo, ¿no? Entonces, le dio la idea, se le ocurrió la idea. Así haya sido indirectamente, right? So, I think my search just ended. I'm going to talk to grandpa about a job.
Talk to grandpa about a job.
All right, very good. Now, let's do this. Listen to the rest of the conversation. What was an important turning point for Jim and also for Luke? So don't forget, Jim is the uncle and Luke is the nephew, right? So, and what is a turning point? What is a turning point?
Encuentro, punto de...
Yeah, that's right. Like a... Ajá, exactly. Como un punto de inflexión, tal vez podríamos decirle algo así. Pero claro, sí, no es como dicen ustedes, es un punto de cambio, el punto en el que cambiaron las cosas, ¿no es cierto? Un evento importante que hizo que las cosas cambien. Okay, so again, listen to the rest of the conversation. What was an important turning point for Jim and also for Luke? So we have to pay attention. We have two questions. What was an important turning point for Jim and what was an important turning point for Luke? Okay, let's listen.
Page 72, Exercise 2, Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. What was an important turning point for Jim? For Luke?
So that job was a turning point in your life.
One of them, but the most important was becoming a parent. When your cousin Bella was born, my life changed completely, and I changed too. Before that, I never used to worry about the future, but then I realized I was responsible for another person, and that made me take life more seriously. What about you? Have you had any life-changing experiences yet?
Well, I guess making the basketball team really changed my life. For the first time, other people really depended on me to do my best. Since I'm an only child, I hadn't had much experience working with others before I joined the team.
That's great.
Yeah, I learned how to be a team player and not be so selfish. And our team, we really grew up together over the past 4 years. It was so rewarding when our hard work paid off, and we won the championship last year.
All right, let's listen to it. Maybe you have the answers already, but just in case, let's listen to this one more time, okay?
Page 72. Exercise 2. Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. What was an important turning point for Jim? For Luke?
So that job was a turning point in your life.
One of them, but the most important was becoming a parent. When your cousin Bella was born, my life changed completely, and I changed too. Before that, I never used to worry about the future, but then I realized I was responsible for another person, and that made me take life more seriously. What about you? Have you had any life-changing experiences yet?
Well, I guess making the basketball team really changed my life. For the first time, other people really depended on me to do my best. Since I'm an only child, I hadn't had much experience working with others before I joined the team.
That's great.
Yeah, I learned how to be a team player and not be so selfish. And our team, we really grew up together over the past 4 years. It was so rewarding when our hard work paid off, and we won the championship last year.
All right, good. So, what do you think? What was an important turning point for Jim? Remember, Jim is the uncle. So, what was a very important turning point in his life, a life-changing event?
Become a parent.
When he
When
become
his
a
son
parent.
born.
Yeah, that's right. So becoming a parent, when he became the past, right? When he became a parent. Very good, very good. Now, what is the difference between parent and father? What is the difference between parent and father?
Papá, padre.
Yeah, in Spanish both could be translated as padre, no? Uh-huh. But here's the thing. Let me show you. If you say, for example, let me go over here. If you say father, well, padre, right? If you say parent, also padre, but what is the difference, right? This is definitely a man, right? This is definitely a man, and parent is, this one can be a man or a woman. It's gender neutral. Okay? So, if you are a man, you can become a father or a parent. I mean, it's the same. If you're a woman, you can become a mother or a parent. Parent works for both men and women, okay? And also, that is the reason when we are speaking about the two, right, you don't say my fathers. Por eso también cuando hablamos de los dos no decimos, en español, sí, en español padre y el plural padres, ¿no? Como sabemos, y esa es la gran controversia que hay hoy por hoy, el español es un idioma en el que el femenino con frecuencia se asume dentro del masculino, pues, ¿no? Y por eso los grupos feministas y protestan en contra de eso y demás, hay cierta controversia lingüística en años recientes. Pero sí, en el español, padre, padres, pero en inglés no podría decir father y para decir en plural my fathers, ¿no es cierto? Bueno, a menos que ambos fueran hombres, que puede pasar, hay de todo, pero generalmente no es el caso, pues, ¿no es cierto? Generalmente no es el caso, ¿no es cierto? So usually you say my father, my mother, my parents, right? But notice this, convertirse en padre, ¿sí? Eso, o convertirse en madre, cualquiera de los dos es become a parent, okay? So when you use the word parent, it could refer, por ejemplo, si hablo de una persona y no especifico si es hombre o mujer, una persona que se quiera convertir, en español tendría que decir en padre o en madre, ¿no? Es más ambiguo, pero, o sea, mejor dicho, tengo que ser más preciso, pero en inglés podría decir a person who wants to become a parent, ¿sí? Si digo a person who wants to become a father, de ley estoy hablando de que es hombre esa persona. If I say a person who wants to become a mother, of course that person is a woman. But if I say, bless you, Juliana, bless you, right? If I say a person wants to become a parent, then it can be a man or a woman. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Just a little parenthesis, a little parenthesis. When somebody sneezes, do you know what is the meaning of sneeze? Yeah, that's right. Estornudar, that's right. When somebody sneezes, in Spanish we say salud, right? In Spanish we say salud.
Yes.
But what do we say in English?
Bless you.
Bless you. That's right. Bless you. Like this. Bless. I'm typing it there on the screen, right? Bless you. And this literalmente, this would be like bendito seas. Bendito seas. Supposedly, this comes from a folk belief, viene de la creencia folclórica, that people used to think that when you sneezed, once you sneezed, the moment you sneezed, part of your soul would leave your body. So as soon as you sneezed, a part of your soul would leave your body, right? So that was the belief. That was the soul, el alma, pues no, por si acaso no lo sabían, just in case you didn't know. So when you sneezed, supposedly a part of your soul left your body, right? So that is the reason why, in order to avoid that to happen, para evitar que eso ocurriera, no? To avoid that, whenever you sneezed, people used to say, bless you, bendito seas, or bendita seas, right? And, nobody believes in that anymore. Nobody thinks that is true, but we still keep using this ancient idiom, right? Seguimos usando esta expresión, right? Y a veces pasa mucho en español también, ¿no? A veces usamos términos que ya son medio arcaicos, pero vienen de algo que en su momento tuvo sentido y tuvo relevancia práctica, si se quiere. So thank you, Juliana. That was a good moment to explain that. Just so you know.
Thank
Right.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, good. Now, let's see. Yes.
I have a question. How do you say in English, bostezar?
Good question. Snore. Uh-huh.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. If anybody of you liked
Snorlax, like
exactly, that's what I was gonna say, right? If any of you liked Pokemon when you were children, you were children, or right now, because you can still like it, why not, right? if you like that, yeah, there is this. My little niece, well, she's not little anymore. She's 24 right now, but I remember when I was about 20 and she was about 5. She was a big Pokemon fan, so I used to watch the show with her. And yeah, like Mateo says, there is this Pokemon that is called Snorlax, right? That it's like a very big Pokemon that is usually sleeping, right? So yeah, snore means roncar. Yeah, that's right. So sneeze, estornudar. Y también el sustantivo, no? Also the noun, estornudo. That's right, but snore, roncar. Okay? So I hope you're not snoring in class. Good, but yeah. That is the thing. Good. All right? Now, let's continue with this. So, that's right. Going back into the listening that we were doing, yes, remember that parent, right? Parent. So, as you said, very well. What was a life-changing event in Luke's life? What was a turning point in Jim's life to become a parent, right? Convertirse en padre, become a parent. And what was a turning point in Luke's life? What was a life-changing event in his life?
When joined a basketball team.
When he joined the basketball team. Very good. Very good. And do you remember what he learned from joining the basketball team? Or what did he feel when he joined the basketball team?
other person depend on him.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Good job. Very good, very good. So now let's listen again. This time let's use the script, okay? Let's use the script, let's use the text, and let's listen to that part one more time, okay?
Page 72. Exercise 2. Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation.
Just in case, can you see the screen? Can you hear the audio?
Yes.
All right.
Just
Thank you very much. Because you know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes with Zoom, I am sharing a screen, and for some reason, it is not really getting shared, right? So just in case. Okay, let's continue.
What was an important turning point for Jem? For Luke?
So that job was a turning point in your life.
One of them, but the most important was becoming a parent. When your cousin Bella was born, my life changed completely, and I changed too. Before that, I never used to worry about the future, but then I realized I was responsible for another person, and that made me take life more seriously.
Now, a question here. This word is another false friend. This one is another false friend. Realize. Well, here it is in the past, right? Realized. But speaking about the word in its base form, realize. What do you know what is the meaning of realize? Do you know what is realize?
Como darse cuenta.
Ah, very good, very good. Yes. It looks like tiene toda la pinta de realizar, ¿no es cierto? Sí, pero y a veces sí se puede usar así, pero rara vez. Generalmente no se le usa como realizar. Si ustedes quieren decir realizar, simplemente podrían decir make, en la mayoría de casos, ¿no? Do, obviamente, también, depende del caso, pues, ¿no? Pero sí, correcto, con mucha más frecuencia, like you say, a lot more frequently, to realize, it means to gain consciousness of something, right? Tomar conciencia de algo. En otras palabras, como bien dijeron ustedes, darse cuenta. Sorry, I didn't realize this was your seat. Perdón, no me di cuenta de que este era tu asiento. Me robo el asiento de alguien, ¿no? Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't realize she was here. Perdón, no me di cuenta de que ella estaba aquí y hablé tonteras. So realize. I just realized something. I just realized something. Me acabo de dar cuenta de algo. All right, very good. So, yeah, usually realize, not is the Z, not en la Z, ¿no? Usually realize means to darse cuenta de algo, like you say. Very good, very good. Okay, let's listen again.
Before that, I never used to worry about the future, but then I realized I was responsible for another person, and that made me take life more seriously.
Here's just one little thing. A mistake a lot of people say is, a mistake a lot of people make is when they spell responsible. Cuando deletrean responsable, lo deletrean igual que en español, ¿no? O sea, hablo de los nativos, de los hispanohablantes. I'm speaking about Spanish-speaking people. So in many
Before that, I never used to worry
about. They spell this wrong, but notice what is the spelling, the correct spelling. It is very similar to Spanish, but with a difference. One of the letters is different. Do you see? So
Yes.
in Spanish we would use an A here, but in English we use an I. En inglés usamos una I en esta parte, no? Responsible. Responsible. Okay, very good. One more time.
Before that, I never used to worry about the future, but then I realized I was responsible for another person, and that made me take life more seriously. What about you? Have you had any life-changing experiences yet?
Well, I guess making the basketball team really changed my life. For the first time, other people really depended on me to do my best.
Interesting here, this expression. I think Katrina said joined. Si no estoy mal, fue Katrina que dijo joined. Tal vez me equivoco, disculpen si es el caso. Y estaba perfecto decir joined, unirse al equipo. Está muy, muy bien. Él, sin embargo, o sea, está muy bien, ¿no? Él, sin embargo, lo dijo, dice, I guess making the basketball team, that's an expression. Es como make es hacer, pero también es como lograr. Por ejemplo, si digo, creo que no vamos a llegar a tiempo. Man, we're not gonna make it in time. ¿ok? No vamos a lograr llegar a tiempo, por ejemplo, ¿no? O qué sé yo, no logré entrar al equipo. I didn't make it into the team. I couldn't make it into the team. Entonces, make, ustedes saben, es hacer en el sentido de fabricar, de hecho, o de elaborar, pero también puede servirme para lograr algo, ¿no? Entonces, I guess making the basketball team really changed my life, como lograr entrar al equipo de básquet. Pero lo que dijo, como digo, si no me equivoco, Katrina, join the basketball team, that was perfect also. Okay, very good.
Well, I guess making the basketball team really changed my life. For the first time, other people really depended on me to do my best. Since I'm an only child, I hadn't had much experience working with others before I joined the team.
That's great.
Yeah, I learned how to be a team player and not be so selfish.
What is the meaning of selfish? What is selfish?
Egoísta.
Egoísta, that's right, very good, yes. And how do you say in English marisco? Como las conchas, los del... Seafood podría ser, claro, es en general la comida de mar, ¿no es cierto? Sí, que se refiere, por supuesto, a los mariscos y al pescado, pero también hay uno más específico, por ejemplo, cuando hablan de conchas, de cangrejos, de todos los que tienen caparazón. How do you say that in English? Seafood is one, right? But yeah, seafood is one, but there is a more precise one only for those. Porque seafood podría ser el pescado también, ¿no es cierto? Pero si hablo de crustáceos y de mariscos, if I am not speaking about fish, but I am speaking about crustaceous, right? And mollusks, si estoy hablando de crustáceos y moluscos, sobre todo de crustáceos, they are shellfish, okay? Just a little similarity here. Shell. What is a shell? Un caparazón, una concha. That is shell, right? Sorry? Can you repeat that, please? Okay, never mind. So, shellfish. Shellfish would be marisco in the sense of crustaceous especially, sobre todo los crustáceos, ¿no? Y los moluscos. Crustaceous and mollusks. Conchas, almejas, right? Oysters, clams, crabs, cangrejos, shrimp, camarones. All of those would be shellfish. So there are many jokes in English about this. Hay varios chistes en inglés, ¿no? Porque shellfish son los mariscos estos y selfish es egoísta, ¿no? Right? So, but just a little piece of funny information about it. There are many jokes about it, but I'm not going to repeat them because they are all very bad. But anyway. Okay, let's continue. Okay.
And our team, we really grew up together over the past 4 years. It was so rewarding when our hard work paid off, and we won the championship last year.
A question. Let's read this one. It was so rewarding when our hard work paid off and we won the championship last year. Well, first of all, what is the meaning of this word? Reward. Are you familiar with this word? Do you know what is a reward?
Recompensa.
Recompensa. Very good. So what do you think is the meaning of rewarding? Because this is an adjective. This is an adjective. Rewarding. What do you think it is?
Recompensar.
Por ahí va. Bueno, hay una cuestión. La propia reward.
Gratificante.
Aha, very good. Yes, very good, Melanie. That's the thing. So, for example, the reward, this can be the noun, recompensa, but also the verb. Recompensar. Yeah, that is the... ¿Qué es recompenar? Nada. Recompensar, yeah. All right, very good. So, it's the noun, but also the verb. But yeah, like Melanie says, rewarding, the adjective, podría ser gratificante, ¿no? Algo que me hace sentir bien, que me da una gratificación por hacerlo, ¿no es cierto? Gratificante. That's right. Noten, literalmente le podríamos traducir como recompensante, pero no existe esa palabra en español, ¿no es cierto? We don't have that word in Spanish, so let's better say gratificante. Very good, Melanie. Thank you. So, rewarding, that is the thing. Let's listen again.
It was so rewarding when our hard work paid off and we won the championship last year.
All right. Very good. Very good. Now, let's see. So that's gonna be it for today, okay? That's gonna be it for today. But remember these little expressions that we have, okay? So just a quick review before we finish the class. How do you say in English hasta?
Until.
Till. How do you say hasta ese día? Hasta ese día. How do you say that?
Until that.
Until that day. Very good.
Until that day.
Until that day. Very good. How do you say una vez in English?
Once.
Once. How do you say una vez que termine?
Once that
Finish. I finish.
Once I finish. Very good. How do you say antes in English?
Before.
Before, yes. Antes de que me olvide. How do you say that?
Before I forget.
Before I forget. Yeah, that's right. And that is also a Slipknot song. Before I forget. Very good. How do you say después in English?
After.
After. How do you say it in English? I don't know. Después de que me pagues. Después de que me pagues.
After you pay me.
After you pay me. Very good. After you pay me. How do you say en cuanto? En cuanto. Por ejemplo, en cuanto acabe. En cuanto.
as much
Soon as, very good. Ayer le veíamos como tan pronto como, perfecto. Ayer le veíamos como tan pronto como, que sí lo es, literalmente eso es. Pero noten que en español usamos mucho el en cuanto, ¿sí? Ya en cuanto termine la clase de inglés, que ojalá ya se acabe pronto porque el profe es un abombe, en cuanto acabe la clase de inglés, te llamo o te chateamos, ¿no es cierto? All right, so as soon as I finish this damn English class, we can talk, okay? Very good, very good. Now, how do you say ¿para cuándo? Para el momento en que algo pase. How do you say that?
by the time.
By the time. By the time. Very good. By the time. For example, how would you say para cuando me gradúe?
By the time I graduate.
By the time I graduate. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Good. So good job, everybody, guys. That was very good. Good job, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. See you tomorrow. Please don't forget, if you missed a class or anything, you can check it on YouTube. And also, please notice that I am giving you your grades and feedback for every homework that you have done. So check the virtual campus for that. Supposedly you're also getting notifications on your email about the grades that you got, and I am also providing the feedback and the corrections for the homeworks. Okay, so please don't forget to check that to see the mistakes you made. Okay. All right. Thank you very much again. And
teacher.
yes, you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you, teacher.
See you tomorrow, teacher.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. It was my pleasure. You're welcome.